What's going on, guys? So now that I've gotten my 79Z moving and running under its own power, it's time we start with the basics to getting this thing roadworthy again. So of course, I'm going to start with a good old oil change. Now I'm just using the basic stuff for now. Reason being is I just need something that's kind of healthy for the car, that's not like 10 years old and will actually lubricate the engine properly. I'm not going to be racing it just yet or doing anything crazy, because obviously I do have a long way to go with, you know, getting it suitable for that sort of environment. And I figure by the time I need to change the oil again, I'll have all the parts I need to make it race worthy, and then I'll change it with something, you know, like liquid moly or something more substantial for that kind of thing. So yes, we're just starting off this major tune-up with a basic oil change. So let's get her fired up on the ramps, and let's get this old, nasty 10-year-old oil out of the engine. Fires right up. Alright, it is very hard to film underneath here with a DSLR. But there's the oil drain bolt. I wired up the engine a little bit so it'll all come out a little easier. And I am definitely concerned by the amount of spooder webs under here. Hopefully a fat ass spooder doesn't land on my face in the middle of this. I've already cracked it loose, but let's see without getting this camera all lubed up. Let's see if we can get some shit out of here. Ooh yeah, that's pretty dark. All right, and next let's replace this oil filter now that the oil is all drained out. Typically I don't have an injector fan on my engines, but this one still has it. I'll try to access it from the top, but if not, I'll just go underneath again. All right, got her loose. Now we'll just finish her off by hand here. And now the new one goes right in. And now pour in that premium Napa oil. Nice and fresh. All right, before we top it off, let's fire it up. Sweet. Obviously, the oil pressure gauge or the sender does not work, so I gotta check oil pressure the manual way. Yep, that's oil. Well, she's definitely got oil pressure. You saw the cam slinging that oil around, so sweet. Last but not least, yep, we are topped off on oil. Perfect. All right, now that the oil is taken care of, we can move on to the next thing, which are these atrocious disintegrating vacuum lines on this thing. From what I can tell, just about every single one is most likely original. You probably can't tell on the camera, but a lot of them are split and cracking, and most likely are letting unmetered air into the engine, which will hinder performance. So I'm going to go through each one and simply replace them. So I ordered two sizes of hose. I ordered the standard 1/4 inch for all the medium-sized vacuum lines. Then I ordered 3/32 for the smaller HVAC lines. However, it seems like the people I ordered it from sent me 2 bags of this instead of just 1 bag and then a bag of 3/32. So it looks like I'm not going to be able to replace all the vacuum lines today, but nonetheless, here's some of the old like practically hard as plastic, original 40-year-old Nissan vacuum hoses that it comes with from the factory. So we're halfway there, but still some to go. So the next thing I'm going to do to prepare this thing for the road, which is probably the most important thing next to it actually being able to run, are these brakes. You should see the fluid in here. I don't know if I showed this before, but I mean this stuff is dark brown to black. It's really gross, and it smells strange. This one is not as bad because I topped it off with some fresh fluid, but the brakes, you have to press the pedal down about halfway to get any sort of pressure. And for those wondering, you do need to remove a heat shield in order to get to the bleeder valves on the master cylinder. Alright, so I'm going to start with the front reservoir. I've got this reservoir here to catch all the old brake fluid so it doesn't end up all over the exhaust and the frame. So I'm going to hook this up here. I'm going to do some serious pumpage and see what comes out of this thing. Alright, that should be good. And for the next part of the tune-up, we're going to do the standard ignition stuff. So NGK, spark plug wires, of course, a set of spark plugs, and a distributor cap and rotor. Alright, so let's pull these old spark plugs out and see what they look like. Someone absolutely over-torqued these to high holy fuck. Wow. Yeah, these are... I'm gonna have to get a bigger breaker bar because some asshole just absolutely torqued the shit out of these things. Fuck, this is what happens when you take, you know, your classic sports car to some random gas station to get work done on it. Okay, take two. There we go. I'm fucking breaking the damn spark plug and snapping them in half. Okay, look, here's a tip, boys and girls. If you have an aluminum cylinder head, you don't need any more than 14 foot-pounds of torque, and that's maximum. These are probably torqued to like fucking 30. And you risk permanently damaging the cylinder head at that point. So, yeah, that's a big no-no. This is absolutely ridiculous. And don't take your classic sports cars to a gas station and get work done on it. Ugh. Wow. Let's try this one. Okay, the last one I gotta do by hand because the AC is in the way. Doesn't really help that I don't have the right socket, but there we go. Starting to feel like Scotty Kilmer now. Alright, so here are all 6 plugs. It's not going to be that accurate of a reading because this thing hasn't been tuned up and it had a bunch of vacuum leaks and all this other stuff, but they all look to be kind of moist, and the burn looks pretty much the same except for the last one, number 6, which has got some deposits of sort on the end. So other than that though, it looks pretty good. One thing I noticed was these spark plugs, actually, the ones that came out actually had a hotter heat range. These are BPR 5 ESs, so these are designed for running in cold environments or very short trips. So chances are if I continued using these plugs and I ran the thing hard, it would start pinging and the spark plugs would melt. So now I have the right heat range, or the normal heat range I should say, which is 6. If I bumped up the compression, I would use 7, but it's stock for now. So 6 heat range is what it should be for now. So now, just to make sure these aren't over tightened like they were, I got a good old torque wrench set to 11 foot-pounds, not frickin' 30. The maximum is 14, but I like 11 because I want to make sure I don't strip the threads in case they've been damaged already by over torquing. So let's see. So now that the plugs are done, let's do the capped rotor and the wires. And she fires up just like that. Beautiful. Now we can organize all these wires. Well, now that she's all warmed up, let's hit our timing light and adjust ignition timing. Make sure we're at 10 degrees. And in order to adjust ignition timing on an early 280ZX, you may not be able to tell, there's a distributor mounting bolt which is right there. You loosen that and you can rotate the distributor left or right, which will adjust the ignition timing. Very simple. Alright, so I did have to stop midway because the timing plate on the cam cover, or the timing chain cover, was really hard to see because it was just built up with all kinds of grunge and crap. But now that I've wiped it off, I can see 0 and 10 very easily. So now let's fire her back up and see where we're at for real this time. And you can't really tell on the camera, but we're looking at about 8 degrees, so we're very close. All right, we're looking right on the money at 10 degrees before top dead center. So let's tighten the distributor up and make sure it stays where it's at. I mean, the throttle response has really improved. It feels way more snappy. All right, well, let's take her for a little spin. Now that I've gotten all the tuning and stuff out of the way, I think I can take this thing around the block properly. I'm not gonna go too far because it's not insured, the brakes don't work that well, and the tires are 20 years old and they don't really hold air. Let's let's go disturb the peace a little bit around the old hood. Yeah, I can already tell I don't have to give it as much gas when I slip the clutch. She has picked up a little bit of power, I guarantee it. First gear. Oh yeah, I have to get used to that more snappy throttle response than when I first got this thing running. The clutch is also leaking, so I got to keep that in mind. Oh yeah, she's feeling a little more antsy. Back into first. There's that weird idle hang. Yeah, this thing feels way better than when I first got it running. Do a little U-turn here. The suspension doesn't feel too bad for being probably original. Yeah, she feels healthy. Really, she does. I like it. Oh God, filthy casuals. Oh, all right, I guess I'm going. Come on, casuals, move it. All right. All right, well, everything is still tight and secured here under the hood. It's running good. And now I think what we really need to do next is get some new tires and or wheels on this thing, fix the brakes, and then we can get her smogged, registered, and then let the mods begin, I tell ya. So thanks for tuning in to watch the third installment of my 79 280ZX. Of course, don't forget to subscribe if you like it, and I'll see you guys in the next video.